Hey guys, so I am just on my way to the gym. This is a different location, like a different gym. Not a different gym per se, it's still the same like company, but it's a different location that I've been to for a while. I just wanted to switch things up a little bit today. I'll be honest, one of the main reasons I'm going to this one instead of my usual location today is because my usual location, the treadmills, most of them, not all of them, but most of them are set for 99 minutes. Whereas the location that I'm going to today, they're set at like an hour, most of them. And I'm just so exhausted, which is really nothing new for me. I mean, that's pretty much the case more often than not, but I'm especially exhausted today. So I'm just trying to give myself a little bit of a break. I don't know, I just wanted to switch things up too. Also, the location that I'm going to today, what is that? Each treadmill has its own separate television set, like its own screen and its own TV where you can flip through the channels and decide what you want to watch. Whereas the location that I normally go to with the 99-minute workouts, those treadmills don't have their own TVs. If you want to watch something, the TVs at that gym are like bigger actual separate television sets, and they're all mounted like further away from the treadmills. Like they're separate from the treadmills. They're not built into the treadmills, and they're always they're always set to the same boring channels. I mean, literally the same every single time, and it's like pretty much like literally the most boring channels they could choose. I don't know why they are on the channels they are, but it sucks because those are the ones with the longer workouts, but the channels that they choose there are so boring. I really don't even watch them. And I haven't had music, like an iPod to listen to at the gym for so long, like years and years. So yeah, usually when I do those 99-minute workouts, it's without music and pretty much without having anything good to watch, just without any kind of like helpful entertainment or distraction. It's just me in my own head, like kind of just trying to talk myself through the workout the entire time. So I'm hoping that it'll be nice today to go to the location that I haven't been to in a while, and actually be able to watch something on a TV there, like one of the TVs that's built into the treadmills, so I can flip through the channels and, you know, actually get to. I also haven't had cable for years and years. Pretty much everything I watch is on YouTube, but whatever I can find for free on YouTube, I don't get the premium or the ad blockers or anything like that because I really don't have an income, and you know, I stress about any amount of money that I spend on anything. Basically, I try to cut corners and save money any way that I can. I'm always like terrified to spend money on anything, pretty much, because it means dipping into my savings with not having an income, and it's been like that for so many years. So that's really stressful. But yeah, I don't really go to the location of the gym that I'm going to right now very often because the drive over there is just so stressful. Like this road that I'm on is pretty much all potholes and traffic lights. It's just a terrible drive over there, honestly. But I did want to get some. I figured that, you know, doing a video while I was doing the drive would help it to go along a little bit quicker. I've only done one driving video so far, and I wasn't sure if that would be the case or if it would stress me out more, but it actually did help me with the driving. It took my I guess my focus and the stress off of the driving part a lot, and I was just focusing more on myself talking. So even already doing this, like I feel better driving this way, just having something to distract me, you know. I mean, not like distract me from my driving, but just distract me from how much I hate driving, basically. So yeah, I haven't really been able to take any videos for the past few days because it's just been so hot, and I've been so exhausted. Like, it's just unbelievable how exhausted I get. My entire existence just drains my soul so much. Like, being in the sex industry is such a tough thing for me. And I'm sure that could be said for most people that are in the sex industry. I doubt it's really very easy for anyone that does that kind of work. I would be amazed if anyone said that it was easy or all that enjoyable, really, but I'm sure some people probably enjoy it a heck of a lot more than I do. Like, for me, I kind of just like fell into it pretty much, like kind of just gradually got stuck doing that kind of work just from being a dumbass and having a very small, limited family that pretty much all just left me where I am and moved across the country. Not that there's anything really wrong with that. Like, I'm a grown-ass adult, obviously. That's their prerogative to go live their own lives and do what they want to do. But, you know, I'm somebody that's always struggled with things. I went through a lot of traumatic incidents in high school, and I never really got help or therapy for any of the things that I went through or continue to struggle with. So, and yeah, the way that it was mainly my mom and my younger brother that moved without really telling me or like giving me much of a heads up or anything like that. I mean, they were really the only family that I have to speak of for the most part anyways, or they were the only ones that had been living close to the area that I'm in now. I've been living in the same area since my family moved to this area when I was about to start high school. Technically 8th grade, but yeah, that's high school where I am is 9th grade. So it was right before I started high school, we moved here. And then I had a relationship that lasted about 5 years after high school. I didn't graduate because a lot of stuff went down that got in the way of that, and I was just struggling so much. So I didn't graduate high school, and I had a very rocky, kind of toxic relationship after high school. That ended in 2012, and then it's a long story. Basically, like shortly after that, my mom and my brother moved, and I've been on my own and single and stuff, just completely on my own for a long time since then. So for the most part, I've been stripping and living off of my savings since that time. The webcamming for me has kind of been like this thing on the side, but very sporadically. Like, it really hasn't been a big part of the picture. But in a way, like, I feel like in my brain it has been. It's been like so many weird things happen to me, and I always wonder how much being signed up on those sites has to do with it. Because yeah, I've been signed up on like I think 2 or 3 of the webcamming sites that I had become aware of throughout the years, and it's mainly one of them that I've actually like really streamed on, but even that one I haven't streamed on it a lot. The last time I did it was this past May, and I only really did it a few times, like a week or two, like a couple times throughout those couple of weeks. And, I made a little bit. The way that website works, it tips the models in 5-cent increments. They're called tokens, and each token is worth 5 cents, which is honestly insulting enough on its own. Like, I try not to look at it that way, like, oh, 5. If you get tipped enough of those at a time, it can add up, just like anything, sure. I just wonder where they came up with that. Like, why not just have it be 1? If anything, if it's gonna be that low, just have it be 1 cent, so at least the math is easier, Like, who comes up with this crap? I guess somebody just really liked the number 5. Whoever designed that site, that was like their favorite number or something, maybe. But anyways, I made a little something when I did it last, but not enough to where I was like, yeah, I think this might actually be worth my while, or a potential actual source of income. I know you have to have patience with that kind of thing and build a following. I just don't have the time or the energy for that, unfortunately. I wish I did. I mean, if I did, I would definitely consider it as more of an option and work harder at it. It's so boring. It's so difficult. Like, when I did it last, I couldn't really think of a whole lot to do on camera. So besides, just like dancing around a little bit and talking a little bit. But mainly, I mean, you can only do that, at least I can only do that for so long at a time. And then I'm like, okay, what now? So for me, what I ended up doing was just working on my writing, because I've been trying to write a book for a long, long time now, which I usually don't have the time or the energy for either, unfortunately. But that, for a long, long time, that's been something that I've been wanting to do and trying to do to the best of my ability. So the last few times that I was on the webcamming site that I'm signed up on, it pretty much just turned into mainly working on my book, like while on camera, which is obviously extremely bizarre and awkward, like while I was streaming. And I didn't make it known that that's what I was doing. So I just pulled into the gym. I just parked, so hopefully I can focus a little more now. But yeah, like, I never really like announced that or made it known. It was kind of just like there. I do my writing on a separate laptop, so I have 2 laptops lately. One of them is like my main laptop that I go on the internet with and that I stream with when I do go on that website. And the other laptop is just for my writing. I never use it for the internet. It's always disconnected from the internet because I don't trust the internet, So that one's just for my writing. And so last time I was on the webcamming site, I kind of just had my writing laptop next to me and was, obviously it was really hard to focus as much as I wanted to focus on that. But I was trying to work on it as best I could. Because yeah, on the webcamming site, it's kind of just like, it just feels like dead air to me a lot. Like, you have your chat room, and for me, since I don't go on there very often, so I don't really have like regulars or followers that I know of, unless they're just like mystery stalkers that I don't even know, like, you know what I mean? So it's like I usually have like an empty chat room with no one in it, and then somebody, like a username, will pop in and pop out and pop in and pop out, and the rest of the people that maybe come in are guests. So obviously I don't know who the guests are, and technically I don't know who the people with a screen name are either. The people with a screen name are called premiums. Well, there's premiums and there's basics for the screen names. And I guess the premiums are the people that have actually purchased tokens that they can spend on the models. So again, the tokens are like 5 cents each. And it's just so awkward. Like, most of the models, almost every single one that I've seen on there mutes the guests because the guests can be very, very mean and distracting. Like hiding behind a computer screen, just saying the most off the wall, mean, hurtful things just to get a kick, I guess. But for me, because I like being new on there, I just get so bored that I didn't bother to mute the guests. At first, I didn't even know how. And then eventually, even when I figured it out, I was just like, you know, whatever, I'll just leave them unmuted and let them have their fun, just to at least add something to the room. So it wasn't quite as boring, you know? Which is probably a mistake. Like, that's what everyone was saying. They're like, you need to mute the guests. Like, the premium members don't like the guests because they distract from the room. And they do. Like, well, I don't know. Like, some of the guests are fine and some of them actually add conversation. But some of them are really mean, and the ones that are really mean, it's like, is this even an actual human, or is this just Chat GPT, like, programmed to be like that? And if I had more energy, like, I'd probably address what they say more and like try to fire back with like catty comebacks. But again, I was just actually trying to work on my writing more than anything. And just, you know, if one of the premium members tipped me, I would give them my attention. So if somebody with tokens to spend tipped me tokens, I would take a pause from the writing and I would go over to my other laptop that I was streaming from and be like, hey, like, what's up? And try, like, I would really try to engage with them and, you know, give them my time and attention. But again, like 5-cent increments, it usually wasn't me being tipped very much, but I would still try, you know, because obviously, like, you want to think that has the potential to lead to better tips down the road if you're lucky, or if you do things right or whatever, which I rarely do things right, but I try. I mean, I rarely know like what the right way to do things would be. But yeah, it's like, it's just, I just don't know what to do on camera there. Like, I know what I could do. Like, obviously you can show more and you can do more, like, sexually, which I have in the past. But yeah, it's just a weird vibe to me. It's just so bizarre for me to do that for free, just to try to like reel people in or get their attention, or like you don't have to do explicitly sexual stuff like that. From what I can tell, I think it usually can help, which would make sense, but I don't think it's like required or necessary, thank gosh. For me, what it feels like having the premium members with the screen name, usually the amount of tokens they have is like hidden, so you don't know like what they could tip you. It's all just like this big stupid game to me. Like, I don't have time for that crap. Like, I don't have time for those head games, but apparently some people do. How, I don't know. I guess they must be retired or something. I'm assuming, like, yeah, who actually has time to do this stuff? Like, I'm assuming a lot of the guys that go on there must be retired, or they must be like on some kind of like, maybe retired from the military where they're getting like a pension from the government or something. Just like, how do you have that much time on your hands, honestly? Or it's just all Chat GPT. I really have no idea. But yeah, like when I see non-guests, so people with actual screen names, especially the ones that are like the premiums that apparently have tokens or have purchased tokens in the past to spend for tips, when they come in there, they're usually, not always, but they're usually more quiet than the guests. Like, the guests will either Sometimes the guests are quiet too, but a lot of times the guests will, like, part of the reason I haven't muted them so far is because they usually add more to the conversation and to the group chat, whether good or bad. It's usually like fine, but then when it's bad, it's like really bad and like really mean to where I almost like cry sometimes, like damn. But at least it's something. At least it's something rather than just being like mute and boring, you know? Whereas the premiums that have the tokens to spend, they're usually more quiet. And when they come into my room, which is not all that often, so when they do, it's just like the pressure to like do something like fantastic, you know, like the pressure's on, like, oh my gosh, there's a premium in my room, like I better like look my best, try to get the best angle, like show what I got, say something funny, say something engaging, say something cute, like just do whatever I can to try to like hold their attention and like make watching me worth their while, to make them want to like, you know, like me and follow me and tip me, etc. But when they don't tip and they don't say anything, they're just like in my room, so I can see this is how it usually goes. They're usually just in my room, quiet, so I can see their screen name and I can see that they're a premium that's had tokens to spend before and possibly does like right then. But like when they're just in there not saying anything, it feels like a fly on the wall just like watching me. You know what I mean? Like, who the F is this? Is this even a freaking person behind that name? Or is it just, yeah, like AI? Is it just a robot? Is it just like a chat bot from the website to mess with me? Which honestly, the website probably could do that. Like, if they see a new model that's like obviously putting in effort and working hard, like trying to get themselves going on there, why not just make a few bots on the site to just like randomly tip them, like spread the love, you know what I mean? I'm sure the company or the website makes plenty of money. I want to think they do. So why not just have a few bots, like AI, just like tipping some of the new models or some of the models that aren't doing so well yet. You want to think it's possible, right? In this day and age. But yeah, for me, when they're not saying anything and they're not tipping, it just feels like just so awkward. Like they're just, yeah, like flies on the wall just staring at me like, are they waiting for me to do something? Or like, what are they waiting for me to do? It's so awkward to me. And honestly, yeah, when I'm at my apartment, I just want to be able to relax and just be myself. If I wasn't so self-conscious about the way that I look, I think it might be a little different, to where I could just feel more comfortable, or comfortable at all, at least like any degree of comfortable, just like kind of just doing whatever. Like I've seen models eat on camera. I've seen them kind of just like kick back and not bother saying much, like not talking, not doing anything that exciting, just like basically hanging out in their rooms until somebody like says or does something, like one of the members on the site says or does something to like trigger a response from them. But I just don't feel comfortable doing that, because I feel like for me, I'm not naturally photogenic. I'm just not photogenic at all. Like for me to look even halfway decent on camera, I have to really, really like position myself a certain way with certain lighting, certain angles, very specific, and like really try to like hold that pose almost to not look like complete and utter crap. And yeah, it's like for somebody like me that struggled with their self-esteem, that struggled with so many things, so many traumatic incidents, like how did I get stuck in this industry where so much of it is based on looks, and you just end up feeling that much worse about yourself? You know, like it really does suck in a lot of ways. I mean, it is what it is, but for somebody like me that just feels like such utter crap about themselves, like why and like how and why is this what I ended up doing? And a big part of that is just, yeah, because I'm too stupid and lazy, I guess, to do anything else. I don't know if lazy is really the word, though. There just doesn't seem to be a lot of opportunities where I am. And yeah, I didn't graduate high school. I can be pretty hardworking, though. I just feel like if there were more job opportunities, or at least ones that I was aware of, or that I would be a potential candidate for, then I would at least try to maybe look into that kind of thing more. But I just don't know of anything around the area where I am. Like, and yeah, I'm so self-conscious about the way that I look on there. And it's just like, when I look in the mirror, you know how your image is reversed, it's like flipped around. I feel like that looks better to me than when it's the regular way of how people would normally see you, like straight on. But the website that I'm on, the image that I see when I watch myself on the camera, it's flipped around to how other people would actually see me. So it basically, like, what I can see of myself, like what I can see of myself right now, like on my phone's camera, and even on my laptop's regular camera, it's like looking in the mirror. So it's what I'm used to seeing, basically. So like right now, what I'm seeing on my phone screen and what I would normally see in my laptop's regular webcam screen when I'm not streaming, when I'm just like on the camera app on my laptop, it's like looking in the mirror. So it's what my eyes are used to seeing. And I'm more familiar with how to find my angles that way and what I think would look best. Whereas on this website that I stream on, they flip the image. So it's not like looking in a mirror anymore. It's like how other people would see you. And it's very confusing for my eyes and my brain, because if my hand's on this side, and I'd be used to seeing it on this side. On the webcam screen that's reflected back at me that I'm watching on my laptop screen when I'm streaming, it's on the other side. It's just, and it looks so much worse to me. And I'm not sure how much of that is because I'm just not used to seeing it that way, or I really think it just actually looks worse that way. It makes it so much more difficult. I really don't like it. Oh, sorry, someone just pulled up beside me. Get the fuck away from me. Oh my God, I hate people so much. Sorry, guys. I don't want that to be in the video, but oh my God, it's just so... God, I hate existing so much. And yeah, I'm self-conscious to the point where like I've actually, one of my biggest insecurities is my nose. So I've thought about, like, they specifically say you're not allowed to wear a mask on camera. Like the people on the website want to see your face. Go figure. So I've thought about like even getting a clown nose to cover my, just so I could like sit back and relax a little more and like not have to be like so on edge trying to like think about my angles constantly and like how I look on the screen, because I can look really, really, really crappy if I don't, pretty much all the time, but especially when I don't make a point to like sit up straight or like angle my face this way and like get the lighting this exact way. I'm just like thinking to myself, how can I cover my nose at least? Like not my full face with a mask, because that's not allowed, you know, but like how could I just at least cover my nose, since that's one of my biggest insecurities. And then I could, you know, at least just like, yeah, just like kind of stream in a more, slightly more relaxed way, where I just kind of live my life in my room the way that I normally would, like just doing whatever on camera without having to feel so on all the time. but I don't really have, I found this, I don't really have anything like that, and I don't want to spend the money right now, but I have this like pom-pom hair tie that's like a hot, like a bright pink that's almost red. So I was thinking, I haven't tried it yet because I haven't bothered to stream on the site for a while now, since May, so like 3 months pretty much. But I was like, maybe I could like tie some ties on the side of this and like wrap it around my face to cover my nose next time I try to go on there. Like, I'm that self-conscious about my face and the way my nose looks. So awkward. The person that just parked beside me, they're still there. Like, go away. Oh my gosh. Go into, like, there's this big stupid truck, and I just want some space in life. Like, get the frick away from me. Oh God. So yeah, I know there's like a lot of other things I could say about the webcamming. I'm at about half an hour right now. I guess I should probably just go into the gym. Oh good, I think they're getting out. I just heard their beep. So hopefully they'll go away now. The truck is still there, but at least the human's gonna be, oh God, they left the truck. Okay. So it's just the truck now. The human has exited the truck, I think. I heard it beep, so I think they left. I don't see them in there anymore. Oh God. But now I also can't see like anything else to the side of me. Like, they completely blocked off my view of everything else. I'm in this tiny little rinky-dink piece of crap car, and they're in this huge, like, I hate trucks so much. And why are parking spaces all the same size when vehicles aren't? It just nothing makes sense to me. Everything just stresses me out and pisses me off so much. I just hate this planet. Sorry. And that freaking sound, I can't wait to watch this video back just to see if that sound shows up. Oh my God, oh God, everything's just stressing me out so much. Yeah, also with the webcamming, they don't send out the paychecks every week. It's supposed to be like every 2 weeks, which is what they say. And then they say that the paychecks come from like Chicago, I think. I forget. Basically, they said that the paychecks are sent out every 2 weeks and they come from this one location. Back when I got the checks in the mail, I got 2, and it wasn't every 2 weeks. It was one for 1 week and one for the next week. And actually the first one, the dates that it said that it was from like 2013, when I like first streamed on the site. So it was from over a decade ago that the dates, it basically said that what I earned for that first week in May this year, it said that those earnings were from over 10 years ago, back in 2013. And then they said you're supposed to only get a check every 2 weeks. The following week, I got another check, and it wasn't even for like the amount that it said that I earned on the site. Thankfully, it was slightly more rather than slightly less, but it just adds to the whole confusion and just the feeling that I'm being just messed with. I'm just a toy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so frustrating. And yeah, on the check, where it said where it was coming from, it was a different location than what it said on their site. On their site, it said every 2 weeks from this location. When I actually got the checks, it was one for each week. It wasn't 2 weeks, it was like a week and then another week. And it said that it was coming from a different location than what they had originally said. And yeah, it was for a different amount than what it showed I was supposed to be getting on the website. It was slightly more, not that much more, just enough to mess with me. like a few dollars more, but it's like, why is it not what it said it was supposed to be? It's just all so confusing and frustrating. And like, what is going on here? You know, just, oh my gosh. And then I have toys that I could use on camera to like maybe enhance the show and get people a little more interested, rather than just sitting there working on my writing and like dancing around randomly in between that. So I haven't really actually used any of the toys yet though, because I just haven't felt comfortable. It's just so funny to me, like they have this like whole idea where it's like, the reason that customers go on this website is because they're supposed to enjoy seeing women experiencing pleasure and feeling good. And that is just such a crock of crap to me. Like, it's just the exact opposite. It's so hard for me to wrap my brain around that being possible, because my entire existence, the only thing that I've seen from guys is that they get off on the exact opposite of that. They get off, almost, not everyone, I guess, but pretty much almost all guys can really only get off on seeing women be hurt and like experiencing pain rather than pleasure. At least for me. I don't know if it's because I'm a blonde or because I say like a lot. Like, I noticed that watching some of my videos back. It's like, count the likes. Punch yourself in the face every time she says like. That's what I should do. I should punch myself in the face every time I say like on my videos, because I say like a lot. Anyway, but it's like, yeah. I just have never been able to believe that I've just never seen a guy actually seem to really enjoy a woman experiencing pleasure. Like, they just want to see women hurt. And that's what stripping, because I've been a stripper for so long. And as a stripper, like, that is pretty much the vibe. That is pretty much like the, what do you call it? Like the MO, the strippers are supposed to suffer. And strippers are supposed to suffer hardcore. Like, that's a separate video. My video about stripping, I'm saving for a later date, another time, because I know that one's gonna be so long and I could just go on forever with that. But it's been like the stereotype in society for so long anyways. Like, yeah, strippers are supposed to have messed up pasts, messed up futures, or not very bright futures. You can only do it for so long, and you know, this and that and that. Every single time you get on stage, especially when you get on the pole, you're risking a serious traumatic injury. The pole, the stage that I go on, the club that I'm at, the pole is like 15 feet basically. Actually, you know what? I measured it one time, it's more like 13. And I remember because everyone guesses about 15 to 20. And I measured it pretty recently. And when I did, and I realized it was more like 13, it's just like, go figure, like the number 13 is said to be unlucky a lot. So it's like, of course it's 13 feet. That makes sense. That goes with all of this other stuff. That fits and matches so much, you know, to have it be 13. Cause yeah, like if you fall off that thing, or even if you don't fall off, just being on it in general, like you can get so hurt so easily. It's so slippery. It's just the lights and all the theatrical stuff they have going. They have a fog machine where they blast this like smoke in your face a lot of times, but you never know when it's going to be coming. Like, or sometimes it's just on in the background, like, and I can't breathe. I can't see when it's going. That's messed up my experience working there so much, because I can't see, I can't breathe. I'm congested from it for like weeks afterwards when I'm in there. So I just, but that's more of the dancing. But yeah, it's like, as a stripper, you're just meant to suffer, basically, is what I've gathered and what I've seen from being a stripper for so long. I mean, yeah, that's the stereotype in society anyways. But then when you actually try it yourself, when you actually do it and actually live that lifestyle, you see how much that stereotype still seems to ring true and actually, you know, be pretty accurate still to this day, unfortunately. Like, people expect strippers to suffer and they want to see strippers suffer, and strippers do suffer. They do just that. A lot of strippers don't even go on the pole at the club that I work at. We don't have to. But for me, having learned pole tricks in the past and having proven to myself that I'm capable of doing it, I just don't want to lose that ability. So I still keep doing it as best I can, as much as I can. But if you fall off that pole, you could easily become a paraplegic. You could easily become crippled, like unable to walk, you could die. I mean, people do die from less, you know, or if you break your neck, or there's so many kinds of injuries. I mean, but it's just so normalized. It's just, you know, when you do something over and over and over, you take it for granted and it just becomes normal, and you just put that out of your mind, the risk. It's just like driving. Like, driving is so normalized, it's just so whatever. No one's gonna really make a big deal out of the fact that they have to drive to work every day. I mean, not everybody does as much these days, it seems, like with people working from home more. But the people that go out, or the people that live where there's winter a lot, and they're on the icy roads in the winter, driving around to go to work and trying to get there on time and this and that, you just, like, what are you gonna do? Like, complaining about it doesn't really make sense, because so many people have to do it, and it's just normalized, and it's just part of life a lot of times. So it's just like, it is what it is, and you got to do what you got to do. But if you actually take the time to stop and think about it, it's like, no, you're risking your life every time you go to work. You're risking your life every time you go outside. You're risking your life every time you're on the road in a car. Some people say that driving is actually more dangerous than flying, and I'm terrified of both. I haven't been on a plane in a long time. I don't want to get on a plane anytime soon. At least with driving, I'm the pilot, basically, which I prefer, because I don't trust anybody. I don't trust myself either. I don't trust other drivers. I mean, recently I almost got T-boned at a busy intersection, and that intersection is right near the club that I work at. I go through that intersection all the time. Pretty much every time I drive to work, every time I leave work, I go through that intersection. So it's something that's so normal to me, and I don't really think about it all that much. But just recently, I mean, I could have died almost getting rammed from the side by a truck that actually looks just like the one that's next to me right now. I think they just blew through a red light, or like maybe a yellow light, or maybe my side had gotten the green light a little bit early or something. And it was right after work. I remember that day. It was right before Father's Day, go figure. It was like June, I think 14th, this past June. And it was traumatic enough to where I remember the day. It was on a Saturday. It was the Saturday right before Father's Day. And like, even now looking back, I don't know if I would have died or not from it, but I probably could have. And if I didn't die, I know my car would have been totaled and I would have been seriously injured from it. Because I'm in this little tiny car and they're in this big, huge truck, and they were going so fast at that intersection. And it was after work for me. I was exhausted, going on hardly any sleep. I don't sleep at night, and I had been a day shift that day, which means I was doing that day shift on the pole, going upside down, doing pole tricks after not having slept the night before, and in a calorie deficit, because I remember I was dieting at that time. So me after work, and with all of those factors factoring in, me at that intersection, my headspace, I was not that focused. I was not that with it. And it's amazing to me that I was able to sense not to just go through that green light right away. Because normally I was on the grocery store is like right after you go through that light. The grocery store is like, you go through that light and then there's the grocery store, which is normally what I do after work. I'm like, yes, like go get my friggin' food. I'm so hungry. So that's and yeah, when I'm on my way to go get groceries after work like that, I'm like anxious to go get them. I'm very hungry. I'm very ready to just, you know, get through that light and get to the grocery store. But for some reason that day, normally I would just like, as soon as I get that green light, I'd just like go, but I could just sense not to. I guess I didn't even see them. It was because it was a gray, like overcast kind of day, and this was a gray truck. So it wasn't very easy to see them, and I really didn't see them at first. Obviously I saw them after, as they were like blowing through the light or whatever, or blowing through the intersection really fast. But it's not like I stopped and paused because I saw them. I stopped and paused because I just had this like feeling, this like sense or intuition. And I'm just so glad I did, because if I hadn't, they would have rammed right into me, and they were going fast enough to where I really think I possibly could have died. But again, I go through that intersection like pretty much almost every day or every time I work. When I work, I go through it like twice a day, on my way there and then on my way back. But yeah, I mean, it's like, it's just so normalized driving, like, you know, you can die doing it, but you just, like, no one's really gonna like like put you up on a pedestal and be like, oh, go you, like, you drive every day and you're still alive, like, that's so amazing, oh my gosh. No one's really gonna do that because everybody does it, or most people do it, you know what I mean? It's just a normal part of life. And that's kind of how stripping gets treated when you've been stripping for a while or dancing for a while. Obviously not everybody does that. Not everybody, or not really even very many people are a dancer and go on the pole like that. But when you've been a dancer for a while, and when you've been doing that for a while, other people and even yourself, like, no one's gonna be like, oh my gosh, like, that's so amazing, like, I can't believe you're able to do it, like, look at you go, like, wow, like, you know, it just becomes normalized, and it's just like, whatever. Like, you could do a backflip, you could do the most incredible pole trick, you could do just about anything up there. And especially if you're on a day shift, no one else is really around to see it, or the people that do see it are just regulars that go in there all the time and just don't care. It's just like, whatever. It's like, it's almost like there's nothing you could do up there on that stage that's gonna actually matter enough to really change your life in a positive way. Like, you know, you're lucky if there's some decent customers in there that are willing to tip you a few bucks for it, or tip you whatever they tip you for. Like, but for me especially, and I'm sure for a lot of dancers, it just feels like, especially the ones on day shift, it's like, you know, you could do just about anything up there, and what's it really going to do to improve your life? If anything, you're just risking your life, and you don't even really have to. You could just go up there and just like, you know, just like F around a little bit, just like shake your, just like go like this, just take your top off, and then that's it. You don't have to go on the pole. But yeah, crap, now I'm talking more about the dancing, and I wanted to talk about more about the webcamming in this video. But my point was just that, like, it's just normalized for strippers to suffer, whereas on the webcamming, it seems like they want to make it look like, oh, like kind of like the opposite. Like, you want to, like, a big part of the webcamming sites is like for the models on there to be like, you know, masturbating and like maybe coming and like really like pleasure, like actually feeling good. It's just so difficult for me to wrap my head around. Like, that is just the opposite of what I've been so used to for so long. And even before I was a stripper, like, all my life, all my existence, people have just, it seemed like everyone around me has just always wanted to see me suffer and see me hurt. And that is just like Christmas morning for them if something goes wrong for me. You know, it's like a little kid on Christmas morning. Like, you can just see the delight in their face and their eyes, their whole like demeanor and persona. Like, if any little bad thing happens to me, even my own mom. Like, I remember when I first got my car back in 2016, and I called her on the phone to talk about it, or like we were talking on the phone and I mentioned it to her. The first thing that I heard in her voice was disappointment. She didn't sound happy for me. She wasn't like, oh, congratulations. She was just like, oh. Like, I don't even remember exactly how the conversation went. I just remember all I could hear in her voice was like mild surprise, but mainly disappointment. She did not sound happy for me, which really wasn't surprising for me, because that's just unfortunately how our relationship has been most of my life. I don't think she's ever really liked me very much. If not, maybe she's just straight up hated me and resented me since I was like a small child, basically like my entire existence. I don't think she's liked me very much. But anyways, that could be like another topic for another video. With the webcamming, it's just like, yeah, like, I just, it's so weird for me to think about trying to like masturbate on a website like that, or like actually feel good and like experience pleasure in front of other people. I can't even eat in front of other people because anything that might be a pleasurable thing, eating stresses me out, but I still do enjoy my food most of the time. But I haven't eaten in front of anybody else in years, and so long, and it's something that I try to avoid typically at all costs. The closest I would come maybe is like strangers, like if I'm in my car just eating a protein bar real quick, or even like at work, like if I'm having like a quick little like nibble on a protein bar or whatever it is, which is rare, like maybe a banana. But when I do that, if another dancer walks in, I'll immediately try to like hide, like turn my back, or like finish real quick, or like have them not really like see me or notice that much, like even with them. And I'm probably more comfortable with other dancers than anybody else, except maybe, yeah, like strangers. But the more I know someone, or the more I've seen them, the more of an acquaintance they are to me, the more uncomfortable I would be with them seeing me eat, basically. Because I don't feel like I feel like other people have never thought that I deserve to like feel good or have anything good in life or experience pleasure. It's just all supposed to be struggle and pain and everyone against me, like all the time. I don't feel that other dancers are so much against me, like they're all really nice these days, but that feeling that I have from things feeling like that all throughout my life, unfortunately still lingers in me. Like I still have those feelings of just like what I've been used to my entire time being on this wretched planet, basically. So yeah, I just can't, it's so hard for me to like conceive of doing anything that might be a pleasurable thing, even to begin with, but especially with other people watching. And that's what they try to make the webcamming look like, oh, like, you know, these guys want to see you feeling good and having an orgasm or whatever. I just can't wrap my head around it. And also another thing I wanted to touch on is when these websites were first being shown to me, like years and years and years ago, pretty much over 10 years ago, I think I first came across the webcamming sites when I was with my ex. Because back then I used to watch, you know, porn from time to time. I haven't watched porn in so long. Like it's not something I would feel comfortable doing anymore, because I'm just like so messed up from just like life and the sex industry and the webcamming, even just a little bit of webcamming that I have done. The closest I've come to watching porn is watching the other models on the webcamming site, which in that way, I love that website. I don't really enjoy being on it myself, but I love going on as a viewer and watching the other models. Cause yeah, like I've always like liked girls too, and that's pretty much, I've never actually really been with a girl, but that's pretty much the only way that I've been able to like kind of explore other women and see what they look like and what their parts look like. Sorry, that sounds really weird. But when those websites were first shown to me, because I think I stumbled upon them from watching porn back in the day. Like I said, I don't watch porn anymore, but I think that's how I first discovered the webcamming, is like back in 2011, 12, back when I was with my ex. And, you know, like sometimes I would get bored and watch porn while he was at work or whatever. And I'm pretty sure that's how I came across the webcamming sites. But back then, they made it look like the models on those sites were getting tipped like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, yeah, the tokens were still in 5-cent increments. Like each token was still worth 5 cents back then, but they would show like in the chat rooms of other models, like what they were getting tipped from some of the guys in there. And it would be like the number of digits for the tips would be like, it would just go on and on, to where it looked like they were, yeah, getting tipped a lot. And to where for someone like me, like watching on the other end, it would look like, and consider, and you know, thinking about maybe doing that themselves someday, they made it look like this really enticing thing where you could where the models on that site could actually make like a really good living. And it's just so like hurtful and messed up to realize that that was like just like another bait and switch. You know, pretty much like with the stripping, like just, and that's unfortunately how I've come to see the entire sex industry as far as I've experienced it. I'm not saying that's what it's like for everybody, because obviously it's probably not, and I have no idea what it's like for other people. But for me, from my own personal experience, a lot of it's just felt like this bait and switch, where they make it look so good and so enticing, and like you actually have a chance to really make a good, decent living this way if you're willing to do it. And then it's like once you're actually doing it and you've actually like taken that step to show that you are willing to show yourself like that, and like, I don't know, like, yeah, like part of the reason, I mean, I was so scared to try that webcamming, and then but part of the reason I eventually just got over, you know, tried my best to get over that fear and give it a try was because they made it look so lucrative, not lucrative, but they made it look like it could be such a good source of income. Like you could actually really make a living that way and have like a job. I had never had, still to this day, I've never really had a job, like a steady job or a steady good source, a good solid source of regular income. I've still to this day, I've never had that. Not with the stripping, not with the webcamming, not with anything. But back then, I was seeing these other models on the webcamming sites getting tipped, or it looked like they were getting tipped so much to where I was like, damn, like that looks like a really scary thing to do. And I don't know if I could ever do it, just like with the stripping, because this was also before I had started stripping. But I was like, well, that almost looks a little less scary than the stripping, because at least then I could do it from the comfort and privacy of, you know, like my apartment, not having to go out, not having to go on a big ass pole, you know, not having to take that physical risk, and being able to control a little bit more of my surrounding environment and, you know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it just looked like they were getting tipped so much to where I was like, damn, like regardless of how scary this is, like I gotta give that a try. Like I've never had a decent steady job, and that looks like that's what that could be if I could just get over my fear of doing it. Whereas even now, like watching the other models, it's really confusing because like the top models, the top 100 or 500 or whatever, because they're ranked, I guess, go figure. So like I guess the top models, like these days, it seems like they still get tipped enough to make a living that way, but it's still nothing compared to what it looked like they used to be getting tipped. So that's another thing that's just so confusing to me. So if you combine that with like, you know, just so many other things in life, like inflation and the prices going up, and like COVID and the economy, and just like so many people's incomes going down, and so many people's jobs getting outsourced or like, you know, getting cut off or replaced with AI, it just really messes with your head. Or at least for me, I know it does. Like it's so difficult for me to figure out what the F is going on, or if this is all just one big simulation to mess with my head, or like if that's just all the sex industry really is at the end of the day. I just can't figure it out. I don't know if I even want to know at this point. I just know that, yeah, it used to look like years and years and years ago, way back in the day, it used to look like those models were getting tipped a lot more than they seem to be getting tipped now. And now when I watch the other models, like I said, some of them still seem to be getting tipped a decent enough amount to where they might be able to have that be their only job or their only source of income, to where they can have like a nice life that way. And then, but the vast majority, I would say the vast majority of the rest of the models on that site, it seems like they're just getting tipped like a little bit here and there, to where it's probably more of just like a side hustle, or like definitely not enough to make a living that way, or like have that be their only source of income. Which for me, that's honestly what I would want it to be if I were to really like keep doing it, like to to really make that a priority in my life. You know, like otherwise it's too stressful for me, and it's just too much to like only have it be a side hustle. I don't know. I mean, I've shown pretty much all of my like body, all of my parts on that website. But that's not that big of a deal to me, honestly. Like at this point, like it's kind of just, what's more of a big deal for me is just, yeah, like the head games, and then just not really understanding how any of it actually works or is supposed to work, or why it all seems so weird to me. Because for someone in my position, like the things that I struggle with, I feel like it could be a really good job for someone like me that's like terrified of going out, you know, that where it's winter most of the time where I am. So yeah, when I drive to the strip club, even though luckily for me right now it's not that far of a drive anymore like it used to be back when I first started, but it's like, you know, in the wintertime you're still taking a huge risk going out on the roads when it's a storm, or still trying to get to work in the middle of a blizzard, a snowstorm, or even just like a regular day with the roads the way they are in the winter. So to be able to not have to do that and just kind of work from home, basically, like webcamming like that, I mean, and to not have to keep going on that pole as much, like taking that kind of risk with that, I don't know. For so long I've just wanted to believe it could be a possibility, but I don't know, I just don't know how to get the right kind of customers or people in my chat room to really support me in the kind of way that would be able to help make that happen, I guess. And even if they did, it's like, well, what's the catch with that? Because there's always a catch. And then it's like, you know, oh yeah, but what I was gonna say earlier, so one of the last times back in May when I streamed on there, on the site that I'm signed up on, I had a few toys like on display, like out in front of me, and I was kind of considering like maybe trying one of those on camera, but it was after like a shift at the strip club that day or that night, so I was just like emotionally drained, and just like I just didn't feel up to it. I just didn't feel like aroused or horny or like in a good enough mood to actually try to do that kind of thing. But one of the toys that I had out, I lock my fridge. I use my fridge as like a safe, basically, because stuff has gone missing from my apartment. So what I did is I shut my fridge off, and I put like my most valuable possessions in there, and I lock it up like with like a extension cord like wrapped around it and like locks on it. So yeah, I have like my laptops in there. I have non-perishable food items. Like I said, the fridge is shut off, and so is the freezer. So it's not like, it doesn't keep anything cold anymore. And it's basically just used as a safe for my laptop, for my non-perishable food, some of my clothing, like my underwear and stuff, and just like a lot of stuff that I wouldn't want people to like have access to. And one of the toys that I had shown on the webcamming site a few months back, there was a few of them, and most of my favorites I also locked in the fridge before I went to work the following day, to work at the strip club. And one of them was not like one of my favorites, so I just left that one out to like near its charger or whatever. And the one that I had left out was it had somehow found its way into the fridge when I got back from the strip club the following day. I remember it was a Sunday. I had streamed on the website on a Saturday, and then the next day on Sunday I went into work at the strip club. I forget how long I worked, but I don't even think it was that long of a shift that day on Sunday at the strip club. But it was long enough to where apparently somebody had been able to break into that fridge, undo the lock, you know, and get in there, and I don't think they took anything out that time. I think they actually put one of those toys, and it was one of the ones that I had really been like messing around with, not like doing anything with sexually, but just like, I think I was using it as like a telephone or something because it was shaped like a telephone. So I was just like, you know, playing around on camera, like pretending to like answer the phone and just like goofing around, like holding it up to my face like that, like a phone. But that one was in the fridge, and that was like the only one that I had left out of the fridge. So that's clearly just somebody messing with me, like, but who and how and why are some big questions that I'll probably always have with that. Like, that's really, really scary. It's like, I try to just see it as funny because I wouldn't be able to survive at all anymore if it weren't for having a sense of humor, or for like really trying to have a sense of humor as best I can. Like, with all this kind of crazy crap, like, it's essential for me to have as much of a sense of humor about this all as I can. So I do try to just stick with that as best I can. So yeah, like, it's kind of funny. It's kind of just like, oh, like, what the heck, you know, like, how silly. But it's also kind of scary, especially since I hadn't even been gone that long at the club. Like, I'm pretty sure that was a shorter shift that I did that time. Whereas a lot of times on Sunday, I would stay later into the evening. I would do a longer shift, but this was like a shorter one. Because yeah, I was like in a calorie deficit. Which I am a lot of times, but I remember I was like really dieting at that time. So that's part of the reason I did a shorter shift at the club that day, on that Sunday. Because I was just so tired and just, yeah, in a calorie deficit. I didn't want to do a long shift. I didn't feel up to it. But I think it was like 4 or 5, maybe 5 hours I worked that time, and just me being gone those few hours was apparently enough time for whoever to get in there and do that, which is just so scary. Like, and then yeah, if they do that like that, like, what about when I do the longer shifts and I'm getting back late at night when it's dark out, you know? Like, luckily the building that I'm in has quite a few other people that live in that same building, which normally like gets kind of annoying, and I hate it when I can hear my neighbors through the walls. But whenever stuff like that happens, I'm like, well, maybe it's for, I don't know, like, a part of me is like, is this my neighbors doing this, or one of my neighbors? But it can't be all of them all at once, like all together doing it. I wouldn't think. Like, I highly doubt that it would be all of my neighbors there, because yeah, it's a unit with like multiple other people that live in that building. So I highly doubt it would be all of the people in that building doing it. Maybe one of them, or maybe one or two, but not all of them. So yeah, as much as like it bugs me to feel like there's always people there like cramping my style, and like, you know, it could maybe like hear me like doing whatever. Like, it just feels awkward to me, like, but I try to look at the positives and like, well, hey, when stuff like that happens, maybe it's better that other people are in that building. You know what I mean? But it's still scary regardless. It's like, damn, like, what the heck is going on? You know, and then yeah, stuff goes missing from my apartment, stuff goes missing from my car. And I'm pretty sure since then, back then I only had like 1 lock on the fridge, but now I have 2. And I'm pretty sure even now, having the 2, it's more subtle so far, thank gosh, but I think stuff has still been messed up and gone missing from that fridge. Like, even though it's locked with 2 locks. I don't know, but obviously, yeah, after like anything like that happens, like, your brain will kind of just like look for anything else and just like get carried away with any little thing sometimes, like, which sucks because I don't want to be like that, but it's hard not to be like that when stuff like that has happened. And a part of me is like, well, I was in the calorie deficit at the time, I was really tired, like, maybe it was just me that did it. But a lot of times you just, as much as you try to convince yourself of that, it also will feel like, there's like a spectrum, there's like a scale of like how, like, maybe that could be the case versus not. And there's a lot of times where it's just like, no, I know that I did not do that. I know that wasn't me that time. And those times really suck, but it seems to happen a lot to me, to where, yeah, for the past, I don't know, year or two at least, for a while now, I've carried around this big ass backpack of stuff like on my person at all times with like my phone, my charger, a flashlight, like my credit cards, my ID, some cash, like whatever I can think of that I think would be the most important and necessary for my like survival, I guess. Just like basically anything that I don't carry around on my person in that bag. I know that anything that's not with me at all times could go missing, basically. So anything that I leave in my apartment, even that fridge that's locked, anything that I leave in my car, anything that's not on my person at all times is liable to go missing, is liable for me to just not have it anymore, because this happens frequently enough to where it's like, okay, great. Anything that obviously, I mean, if I could carry around everything with me, I would. Obviously, I can't do that. So it's like pick and choose, I guess, you know, like the stuff that whatever I can fit in this backpack that I have with me at all times, pretty much. To where it's like, yeah, I feel like I can't just go for a jog outside. I have to go to the gym and go on a treadmill where I have my bag right there with me. When I'm at work, it's on the stage with me. I don't leave anything in my locker anymore. Well, I leave some stuff, but most stuff I try to keep in my bag. I feel like it prevents me from really doing much with my life, really living. Like I'm just always saddled with this crap. You know, I have to lug all this stuff around with me. It's so heavy. It's heavy to the point where I actually sustain physical injuries from how heavy this backpack is. Like I've injured my wrist, my shoulders, my back. You know, I weighed it on a scale one time. It's like 13, 14 pounds pretty much. If I put a water bottle in there, which I do a lot, I try not to because obviously water bottles are heavy too. When I do that, it can be like, you know, yeah, 15 pounds basically. And I still wear it on my back when I climb the pole sometimes, which is crazy. But it's definitely a workout. I mean, climbing that pole is hard enough as it is, but when you're wearing a 15-pound backpack, when you're climbing it, that just makes it that much more difficult. But it's just crazy to me to think about, like, while I'm doing that, all the stuff in my car, all the stuff in my apartment, anything could be happening to my stuff, you know, to like I try not to think about it too much, but it's like anytime I'm not in my apartment, anybody else could be in there messing with my stuff. Anytime I'm in the club working and climbing that 15-foot pole with my 15-pound backpack, or 13-foot pole with my 13-pound backpack, anytime I'm doing that, I'm busy doing that, not watching my car like a hawk, anybody could be breaking into my car, stealing my stuff, doing whatever with my stuff. And there's nothing I can do about it. And it just terrifies me to like, what if I did want to get on a plane someday and travel? And I wouldn't be able to do it without my backpack on me at all times. Like I wouldn't be able to put it in the storage. I wouldn't be able to check it in luggage. Like, I just feel like it holds me back in life so much. Like if I wanted to, one of my dancer friends was gonna get married recently, and I was just trying to picture, like, how am I gonna go to their wedding and want to be able to like move around and socialize and dance on the dance floor with this backpack? It's so heavy I can barely pick it up. And if I'm not really careful picking it up, I get injured. Like I sprain my wrists sometimes. I sprain my shoulders or my arms or a lot of my body. Like I'll get injuries from how heavy my backpack is. But I just don't have anywhere safe I can set my stuff down. And it just drives me nuts. And that's just how I've been existing now for so long. And it only seems to be getting worse, really. Like what am I really supposed to do? Again, I have no family in the area. And me making these videos, it's just like, to anyone that didn't already know all this about me and wasn't already messing with me all this time to begin with, like contributing to this crazy stuff that's been going on, if that wasn't bad enough already, now it's like the whole rest of the world, you know, can anybody else that might ever see these, if anybody ever even could or did, it's like that would just probably add on to people messing with me and targeting me. And wow, now we know so much more about her to use against her, and just make this bitch's life a living hell. It's just like the webcamming. Like, I just feel like anything that I do to try to like reach out and get help or whatever is just gonna hurt me more than it could help me. I don't know how to get some kind of help or support because, yeah, it just all seems like it's more likely to hurt me than it is to help me, anything that I do, or anything that I could think to do. And that applies to so many things. Any of the things that I've been able to think of or come up with so far, so yeah, I mean, the webcamming, it's mid-August where I am right now. I don't have heat in my apartment, and lately it's been too hot for me to do much of anything for the summer. But I guess I don't know, I think I might try the webcamming again, maybe a few times before it gets cold again, before winter comes back around. But it would really be amazing if, rather than, it would be great if the webcamming could actually help rather than hurt my situation, which is so difficult for me to believe could be possible. But I still cling to that little bit of hope and possibility, of course. Like, what else are you gonna do? But I would still, like, regardless, like, I would so much rather do YouTube if that could ever be possible. But then I'm like, well, where does the money come from on YouTube? Like, where does the actual money really come from? To me, everything like that is all just like AI and bots and just like an illusion. Like the same way, like when I grew up, like watching like famous actors and actresses in movies, I was like, well, why can't I do that? But it's like, was any of that real? Like, were any of those actors and actresses actual people, or was that just AI too, all this time? All that time too, yeah. And now it's like, I feel like YouTube is like the next version of that, almost like a different version, but like the more recent version, where it's like, I'm seeing all these so-called other regular people and like people that are more like part of the general population, of like maybe people that I could relate to a little bit more. Just like your average everyday person can go on the internet, and if they somehow figure out, I don't know, it's like, it appears like plenty of people can have success that way, and maybe like make at least some kind of income that way, or get some kind of support, some kind of sponsorship, some kind of thing, some kind of good thing going in their life, basically. But I can't help but wonder, like, is any of that actually real? Is any of that actually possible? Or is it all just an illusion? Is it all just more of like the AI, like making it look like that's a possibility? Kind of like when I grew up watching movies and famous people in the media that way. It's like, is this just like the next version of that, where it's all just a simulation and not actually possible for like me? They want to make it look like it could be, if only I could just like say or do the right thing. But as much as I keep trying, I just can't seem to figure it out, or I'm just not trying hard enough, or people just don't like me, and I don't know. It's just, the only thing I can really think to do is just to keep trying, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I've made some videos for YouTube now. I just haven't uploaded any of them. Hopefully I'll be able to figure that out at some point. I hope I can figure it out at some point soon. And yeah, but I'm gonna wrap this one up for now, because I should probably get going and head into the gym. I mean, it's already getting pretty dark out. It doesn't look that dark on my phone screen, but it's definitely dark outside now. The sun's definitely completely down, and it's dark. So I'm gonna wrap this up for now. We're at 1 hour and 20 minutes. But if I am ever able to upload this, if anybody is ever able to see this, I want to thank them for watching. And if you have any positive words of advice, that would be great. I don't know, but I guess, yeah, until next time, I'm just gonna keep plugging away and keep trying my best, right? What else can you do, guys? So yeah, if anybody sees this at some point in the future, thanks for watching, and hopefully sometime soon I'll have more positive things to say. I try so hard not to be negative, but even if some of this sounds that way and comes across that way, I hope it's at least entertaining, because I mean, hey, that's at least something, right? You gotta be entertaining. Like for me, I'm like, yeah, well, this, at least it's not in my life. I'm like, well, it's scary, it's terrifying, it's stressful, but at least it's not totally boring. At least it keeps me on my toes. At least it's interesting, right? You gotta try to look at the positives as best you can. So I always try to do that, you know, be mindful to do that as much as I can, as best I can. And I'm just gonna keep trying to do that as best I can. So yeah, that's it for now, I guess, and hopefully I'll be able to do another video sometime soon. Bye for now, guys.